G'day. How's it going? I understand you're in under martial law, Australia. That's not brilliant, is it? And I'm very concerned about it, as we all are over here in Pommy Land. I'm very fond of Australia. I spent 12 months there in 1989 to 90, and I enjoyed it, and I found the banter entertaining. Despite, I found it entertaining and enjoyable, despite you guys giving me shit every single fucking day about being a Pommy. But I'm going to let that slide. But I'm very concerned, and I'm concerned because like I say, I'm very fond of Australia, and I like Australians on the whole. But I don't like Australians as much as my dad liked Australians, and I think I get some of my respect for Australia from him. And he went to Australia in 1960. That was before even the Opera House was there. And he wanted to go somewhere. He was sent by his company and worked in the Sydney branch, I think. And he had to go up country quite a bit, and he went to Orange, New South Wales. Now, I think Orange is a fair-sized town now, but back in 1960 it was a bit of a one-horse town, so I understand. And my dad was quite posh, actually. You may be surprised. He hasn't rubbed off on me, sadly, but my dad was pretty posh. He went to Eton and studied at the Sorbonne University in Paris, so he was pretty well, pretty cultured. So you wouldn't think it would be the obvious place for a man like him to go to, but he wanted to go there and he liked it. And I got a lot of shit for being a Pommy in 1989. And I'm not particularly posh, but my dad was pretty posh, and he would have been posher then. But he managed to win the Aussies over, because he wasn't a big drinker. He wasn't an alcoholic or anything, but he could hold his drink, and that garnered him a certain amount of respect, it seems. And he was once dared in Orange to order a pink gin in the pub there, and the pub was full of people, and he did. He took up the challenge. Now, it doesn't sit to a lot of people, they won't know what that means, but to any Australians of a certain age who remember Australia as it was, they'll know exactly why that was a significant dare. And he ordered it, and the bar went quiet when everyone looked at him, darts and stopped mid-air, and and there was some grumblings, who's this Pommy bastard? And then once he'd done it, he bought the whole bar a drink, and then he was a good bloke then, you see. So, but he's always liked Australians, and he's always respected them, and he's a cricket man as well, so he's always been even more respectful of the Australian cricket team, despite the sledging and all such things, which we'll draw a line under. but you know, he was very you know, he was in awe of Jeff Thompson and Dennis Lilly in particular. And he went to the Test match in 1961 or something, 61 or 62 with the West Indies. That was a tie. He went to that Test match. The only Test match has ever been a tie. So, but anyway, I digress. You know, he was very fond of Australia, and he passed that on to me, and I'm very vexed by what I hear about going on in Australia at the moment. You know, I understand that you've got the army patrolling your streets. You know, I don't know what the truth of it is. That certainly seems to be what I'm hearing. As with all these things in this COVID nightmare, Sky News Australia, which seems to be the only mainstream news organisation anywhere that's actually telling the fucking truth, or at least giving a different slant on things, has been shut down by YouTube, at least temporarily anyway. So it's difficult to know what's happening out there. But this is frightening. You know, it is frightening, and you know, you guys are unarmed like us. You know, you gave up your guns after Port Arthur, didn't you? We gave up our guns after Dunblane, and now we're unarmed. And the Kiwis, they gave up their guns recently because they're in that case in Wellington, and now we're all unarmed, and we're facing the police, and you're facing the army. Now, I'm astonished that the army has agreed to come and back up the police force, because I view the Australian services much as I view the British services as, you know, almost unimpeachable. As far as I'm concerned, they're the only institution we have left, you know, worth a shit. And it concerns me greatly about what's happening there. And you know, it just, I didn't think that I still don't think that the British Army are going to turn their guns on us. And I think the same of the Australian Army, but I'm very, very worried about this now. You know, if they're prepared to back up the police, what else are they prepared to do? But you've got to fight back, you guys. You blokes have got to fight back. You've got to fight back. There's no alternative. You know, we can't take this lying down. You know, I don't know what you can do, but you can't cower in your houses. You can't do that. You've got to get out on the streets. You've got to get in their faces. In the UK, I don't know the situation in Australia. I imagine it's the same. In the UK, there's 130,000 police. That's one policeman or woman to every 532 people in the country. I'd imagine the proportion is the same. So I imagine, you know, you've probably got 60,000 police or something. The numbers are on your side. You know, you've got to get out there and you've got to face them. And you've got to dare them. You've got to dare them to open fire on you. That's what we're going to have to do. You've got to dare them to do that. Because there'll be nothing left of Australia if you don't stand up now. There'll be nothing left. Just like, you know, when our time comes. and our time's going to come November at the latest. You know, when the weather turns and the cases go up. "18 months ago we had, you know, we had free countries. You know, the free world is vanishing. There's going to be nowhere left to run to. I mean, the Americans are holding out, and they're holding out because they're armed to the teeth. And there's a lesson for us. You know, there's a fucking lesson for us. You know, I don't know if I've got the stomach for this, for what's about to come. I don't know. I mean, I hope I have. You know, I hope I have. I hope I'm not going to be cowering in my house. I can't say for sure. And I'm making this video because you may be on the other side of the world, but you're just like us, really. I know you hate to hear it, and you want to be more like the Yanks, but you're not like the Yanks. You're like us, whether you like it or not. You know, and Australia's worth defending. It really is worth defending. It's, you know, it's a wonderful place, as we all know. With the best hats, as in my lovely Australian bushman's hat. And it's not a fucking fedora. I'm not a theatre critic. But you're in midwinter down there, so it's not surprising you're getting it now. I'm thinking as well that there's something, I mean, it's bad everywhere. It's bad everywhere, but it's particularly bad in the Anglosphere. You know, and you know, Australia is being used as a test case. How to do it, because it's an island, you know. So there's no drift over borders. They can stop people leaving. But I don't know what the, you know, I imagine you're getting the same bullshit about fucking vaccine passports over there as well. But, you know, we went from 3 weeks to flatten the curve to show your papers in 18 months. We're now living, you know, we're now living in fascism, just in case you're wondering over there. You know, when they mandated that the care home workers have to be vaccinated, that's when we tipped over into fascism. That's the time. That was last Monday week, I think. You know, and people are not accepting it. People are pretending it's not happening, but it's fucking happening. You know, and you know, this all might, to some people, might sound somehow kind of romantic, that we can all be part of the French resistance. But it's not romantic. It's terrifying. But we have the numbers on our side. You know, we may be in a minority because of all the fucking asleep sheep everywhere. But even our minority numbers at the moment, and more people are coming over to our side, even in our minority numbers, we vastly outnumber the police. You know, and like I say, it's 130,000 police, there's 80,000 soldiers. Now, I'm seriously, you know, like I say, I can't bring myself to imagine what it would be like if the army turns on us as well. I mean, the police are just fucking shits. Paedophile protecting shits. And they're utter cowards. But I can't say that about the army. And, you know, I hold Australian servicemen in the same regard as I do to British servicemen. And I'm sure there's no difference. But you've got to fight back against this. It's absolutely... There's no alternative. You have to fight back with whatever you've got. Because what happens to you is going to happen to us. And if we don't fight back, we'll be living under Chinese communism. And it's not going to take very long either. It's only taken 18 months to get to this point. I don't know what's going to happen in the next 18 months. But we are able to turn this around. Resistance, mass compliance, and try to get the normies on your side. I don't know what else to say, except good luck. We're counting on you.